What is going on, family? My name is Terrence. For those of you that do not know who I am, but you can call me Triple T because those are my initials. You can call me Big Papa, Big Daddy, Zaddy. I don't care. You can call me whatever you want as long as it's not racist. And welcome to Don't Talk, Just Listen, the only professional wrestling podcast in the world that is not just a name. It's not just a podcast. It's not just a phrase. It is a way of life. It is a religion. It is a belief in which you give your entire being to. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, last night was the start of an era. It was the start of a brand new war. Maybe it's a war, maybe it's not a war, or maybe if you're like me and you're just a wrestling fan to the core of your being, you're just happy that you get more wrestling every single week. Last night, NXT on USA. They've been on USA for the last 3 weeks, but last night was the first time that both hours were officially on USA Live. And at the exact same time, we had over on TNT, AEW Dynamite, All Elite Wrestling Dynamite, an alternative to the WWE. And I don't know about you, but I personally, I enjoyed each show. And to give you a little backstory, I decided because here, where I'm from, since they both came on at the exact same time, just like everybody else in the world, I chose to watch NXT in its entirety while NXT was live because AEW was showing a replay of AEW Dynamite immediately after the broadcast went over. So I was able to watch both shows peacefully with no bias, no overlap. I wasn't missing any spoilers because I was getting to see both shows in their entirety for my own viewing pleasure. And I didn't pick a side. And this right here is going to be the NXT side of things, the NXT review. And in the next episode, you will see my AEW review and what I thought of both shows. And I can tell you right now, I will say this without being biased, without picking any side. I have no dog in the fight except for my heart. I'll be completely honest. Me personally, I enjoy AEW just slightly better than NXT. That doesn't mean that NXT was terrible. That doesn't mean AEW is gonna make NXT go extinct. No, that simply meant that for me, night one of the Wednesday Night Wars, I enjoyed AEW just a little bit better. But you'll understand why as I go over both shows. But for right now, let's get into NXT. We kicked off the show. Matt Riddle taking on Adam Cole. Adam Cole puts his NXT championship on the line. Now, you might be thinking, why is the NXT championship opening the show? And it's very obvious why. They were trying to go head to head. No matter what they say, no matter what Triple H says, what Vince McMahon says, they wanted to go head to head. At the very beginning of both AEW and NXT broadcasts, they wanted to go head to head with AEW. They wanted to get the more eyes on AEW on NXT, excuse me. So Riddle versus Cole. This map the show starts off with Riddle coming out for his entrance and he daps up William Regal. So that already lets you know who William Regal is behind in this match. But William Regal had no say so in this match. He had nothing to do with this match at all. So it was just a cool little moment. But this match was all about trying to paint the story of Cole having a fractured wrist. He has some type of crack in his wrist. It might be minor, but apparently it's supposed to be legit. So he's wearing a cast, kind of, but it doesn't really look like a cast unless you get a close up of it. But you can see that he's wearing a white cast. Kind of plays a role in the match, but it doesn't really play a role in the match. But they try to say it played a role in the match later on in the night in the second hour. But anyway, this my problem with the entire NXT episode was the fact that it was basically a takeover on live television, but none of the matches really had any consequence. None of the matches really mattered. None of them had any type of real storytelling. They were just matches. And you would think with 3 title matches that something significant would have happened in those title matches. But we would soon find out that maybe that wasn't the case. But for this match, Adam Cole versus Matt Riddle, this was nothing but offense and reversals. One guy would do one move, the other guy would do another move, they would reverse each one. It was offense, 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 offense. The reversals, the defense was offense. So how do you compound more offense? You just blitz. Just like in the NFL. 13 is more than 10. It doesn't matter how you get to 13. As long as you get to that 13, you win the game. In this match, it was no matter what you give me, no matter what you put on me, no matter what attack you give to me, if I can give one more to you, then I win the match. So this match was all about these two just at a fever pace, going back and forth, offense, offense. Incredible sequence. There was an incredible sequence at the beginning. Adam Cole, he's at the beginning, he tries to wear down Matt Riddle, but Matt Riddle's offense, his strikes, kind of are the equalizer. There's a sequence early in the match by Matt Riddle where he hits a V trigger to Adam Cole. Cole then hits an Insiguri to Matt Riddle, but Matt Riddle just walks through it, just shrugs it off like it was nothing. He hits a German suplex to Adam Cole. Then Adam Cole hits a brainbuster knee neck breaker type deal, and he only gets like a 1.5 2 count. So just to give you an idea of just what the quality of the match was, they were doing insane sequences like that where both men were shrugging off any type of damage, and just to make their next move count. So then Matt Riddle, he ends up kicking out of a Panama Sunrise during the course of the match several times. Um, Adam Cole hits his own sequence where he hits a Panama Sunrise, but it's reversed into the Bro to Sleep by Matt Riddle. Matt Riddle then hits a powerbomb, then he hits another V trigger, then he hits the floating bro, but Adam Cole kicks out. Now, granted, this was like 2/3 of the way through the match. So these guys, imagine if that was just one sequence, and I already told you another sequence that happened, they were hitting like signature moves the entire time. There was like one rest hold maybe. There wasn't a ton of storytelling. The finishing sequence of the match involved 2 super kicks from Adam Cole that transitioned into a Panama Sunrise. Cole then goes for his last shot, but Matt Riddle reverses that into a rear naked choke. Cole then reverses that into a roll-up attempt, but Matt Riddle kicks out. Cole then escapes a Fujiwara armbar that Matt Riddle used last week to get the victory over Killian Dane in order to face Adam Cole. Adam Cole ends up hitting the last shot, and he gets the victory. This match, there wasn't a ton of storytelling. Like I said, storytelling is you having what happens in the match makes sense, but also paying a price for it. In this match, there was usually, oh, we're gonna storytelling is usually if Adam Cole, if his arm is fractured, Matt Riddle in a regular match where storytelling is key, Matt Riddle would have been focusing all of his energy on that one arm. That way he can get the Fujiwara armbar and win the championship. That's storytelling. Something that happens continuously throughout the match, something that's easy to follow, and it makes sense, and it has a payoff effect. Maybe he doesn't win with the Fujiwara armbar. Maybe Cole does something because his arm is damaged. He finds a way to do something else, and it makes sense because he can't do it with his arm, so he does it with his leg or something like that. This match was just offense, 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 payoff. Adam Cole wins. So Adam Cole is in the middle of the ring. He's celebrating. And then all of a sudden, Finn Balor's music hits, and Finn Balor comes down. He needs to cut his hair off because the hairline is not good. I know I'm bald, almost, basically. Don't worry about that. That's a personal issue. From one person to another person. I know. Finn Balor, if you ever see this, go ahead, man. You just got engaged, married. You just had a little vacation for a couple months. I see you got a little tattoo on your hand, on the back of your hand. Go ahead and cut that off, man. It's not worth it. Okay, you're too cool to at least let that show. Anyway, Finn Balor comes down. Finn Balor then says, staring down face to face with Adam Cole, he says Finn Balor is in NXT. And then later on, after the show, I believe Finn Balor put out a tweet of WWE Shop with a new Finn Balor shirt that says Finn NXT. So Finn Balor is back in NXT, which is surprising, absolutely, because Finn Balor was like one of the only people that you might have suspected to not be sent back to NXT. And considering the draft is next week, if anything, at the least, that's when his fate would have been told to us on either the SmackDown episode of the draft or the Raw episode of the draft, or even the NXT episode after that Monday Night Raw, because NXT isn't supposed to be a part of the draft. Like they don't have a night of the draft. It's just Raw and SmackDown. So Finn Balor is back in NXT. The crowd was lit. I was lit because I didn't expect that. Out of everything in the match, this Finn coming back to NXT and showing up at that moment, that was better than anything in the match. That was more surprising than anything in the match. It was more rewarding than anything in the match, basically. The match was great. NXT level, good. Yeah. It just wasn't a storytelling experience that I thought we were gonna get, because Matt Riddle versus Adam Cole was something that was it's been basically months in the making. Basically, Adam Cole just had to get through Johnny Gargano, but then we got this match that wasn't really whatever, and it looks like Adam Cole or Matt Riddle might be pushed back to the back burner by Finn Balor and then somebody else at the very end of the episode. But after Finn Balor returns, we get a Velveteen Dream promo, and he's surrounded by a bunch of his white girls. I never see a sister. I never see a sister. I never see a senorita. and Abulita, Abuela, Abulita. You know what I mean? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to offend anybody. I'm sorry. Anyway, you know what I mean. He's saying around about his blonde haired white girls. He's asking them all, can you feel it? Can you feel it? Do you feel it? Can you feel it? And then he starts to cut a promo. I couldn't really get into the promo. It was kind of weird. So he's surrounded by all of his blonde girls. He's asking them if they feel it. He's asking the crowd if they feel it. I wasn't into it that much. It was really awkward. It was a really awkward promo for me. I don't know. It wasn't his best promo. It just came out kind of weird from him, and it to hit my ears. It was just a disconnect for me. But he makes a joke, basically he makes a joke. I'm trying to see how I can say this. He makes a joke about never complaining about taking on more than one man at a time, which yeah, you see where the joke is, okay. And he's talking about Roger Strong and Undisputed Era and how they cost him the title last week. Yeah, you know what I mean. Or the week the premiere of NXT on USA. Then he says he's challenging Roger Strong to a match for to a rematch for the NXT North American Championship. This led into a Io Shirai versus Mia Yim match, and I have to say, Io Shirai might be one of not one of, it's obviously she's one of. Io, if it wasn't for maybe like before tonight, before knowing all the stuff that happened tonight, you could make a strong argument that it could be Adam Cole, Io, or it could be Io, Adam Cole. It's just like the best thing about NXT. Io, she's good. Interest is good. New character work is good. She's all into the character work. A plus 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 effort. So we get her versus Mia Yim. To start the match, Mia does a bunch of quick strikes, but Io ends up taking control of the match like classic heel work. The whole point of the match is the whole point of the match and the whole point of Io's character now, her heel character now, is that she wants to wear you down, but she wants to like abuse you. So she's in the match, she's like stomping, kicking Mia in the face and all that. She's like slapping her, like ground and pound, but she's like slapping and punching her at the same time. She does a bunch of stuff to where you can understand that her purpose in the match is not to just win, it's to hurt, which is good because that correlates into her character of being like lost. And she's like being crazy now. She's crazy, but she's like not crazy to her. You think she's crazy, but to her, she's like, this is me. After a tiny small comeback from Mia, Io hits a 6-9 and hits a really good stalling springboard drop kick, but she only gets the 2 count out of that. Mia then goes on to almost win with the code blue, which is like basically just it's like a Canadian destroyer. No, it's a sunset flip basically. Yeah, she almost wins. She gets a very near fall with the code blue, but then ends up hitting a suicide dive afterwards. Ultimately, Io wins with the best moonsault in the business, and they made a point of noting that she doesn't get any arc, she doesn't get any trajectory on her moonsault. She just like it's like turnbuckle opponent. So it's because of how quick she arrives to her opponent. That means it hurts more, and that's how she wins her matches more effectively because it hurts more. Usually moonsaults, people get arc on it, and that's supposed to be like, oh, it hurts more because you're up in the air longer, so you're going to come down with more force. But they're playing it as she's like shooting straight out and landing on her opponent, so it's going to hurt more, which I actually like that idea of them trying to say or explain that that's why her moonsault is so devastating, because you can see how that makes sense. Following this, we had a Tegan Knox video package that just covered her injury in the Mae Young Classic, and basically her return, her rise from rehabilitation, and now she's on her way to be doing great things. She was supposed the she was supposed to be the winner of it from all the reports and rumors back when it happened. She was slated to be the winner of it, but she got injured, so that's why. But now, if you pay attention to NXT UK, she's like the new number one contender now, out of nowhere, and they're doing a video pack of her on NXT Prime, all the way to the moon with her. She's gonna get that UK Women's title maybe sooner than you think. I don't know. I'm just assuming that. Next, we had Johnny Gargano versus Shane Thorne. Shane Thorne, formerly from his TM61 days, but not anymore. He's a single guy, and I have to say, I like his theme song. Call me crazy. I personally like his theme song. It's just nice. And then he walks down to the ring with swagger and a fur vest on. Yeah, don't mind that. So he walks down to the ring with like a fur vest on. Might have been like koala bear back or something. I don't know. It was, look it up. It was nice. Okay. So this is fast paced chain wrestling to start the match. Is Johnny wrestling, obviously. So wrestling is going to be incorporated into the match. Hello. You see what I did there? I said wrestling is because it's okay. Johnny early on during the chain wrestling, he locks in a Johnny Gargano escape, and he attempts to get the early tap out victory, but Shane Thorne makes his way to the ropes and he's able to escape. Throughout the entirety of the match, Shane Thorne manages to be the guy on top. He's the heel, so he's wearing Johnny Gargano down. He's doing rest holds. He's doing strikes. He's cutting off certain pieces of the ring, keeping them at bay, keeping Johnny Gargano from being able to do his high flying, acrobatic moonsaults, suicide dives, attempts, move sets. But it didn't work towards the finish of the match. Because Gargano uh, 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 hits a suicide dive that gets blocked by Shane Thorne, because Shane Thorne hits him with the forearm, and then Johnny Gargano immediately hits another suicide dive. So he goes for a suicide dive, he gets hit, and then like he doesn't even sell the hit for like half a second, and then just goes for a suicide dive again, and he hits that one. Thorne almost wins with a last ride style powerbomb. I forgot what they called it, or what Nigel and Morrow were calling it, but it was pretty nice. It almost looked like he like lost grip on Johnny Gargano as he was slamming down, but it was a beautiful powerbomb. It was very reminiscent of Undertaker, how Undertaker would lift the guys up and then slam him, like as he like lift him and then immediately slam him. That's kind of how it was, but it was a sit down powerbomb instead of just a standing powerbomb. But then Gargano ultimately wins with his DIY super kick out of the corner. 1, 2, 3. I was fully expecting a certain someone to come out after this match because for some reason WWE they like to linger with their camera angles and moments. So Gargano was celebrating for a lengthy period of time as if he beat someone who had more credibility or more cachet than Shane Thorne. So I was fully expecting somebody to like come out, but nobody ever came out. So Gargano wins. I don't know where this is gonna go. I don't know if they're gonna continue this feud. I don't know if Gargano is gonna move on to somebody more important. Shane Thorne is gonna get elevated a little bit more by getting a little bit more rub with Johnny Gargano. I personally thought I personally thought that Shane Thorne. Well, I already thought that he was good, but this match is like, man, he somebody if you put him with somebody like Gargano, Shane Thorne could be the guy that like elevates his elevates his game, elevates his ring work because he's in the ring with Johnny Gargano who can bring out the best in a lot of guys. But directly after this match, Johnny Gargano's wife, Candice LeRae, she faces off against the NXT Women's Champion Shayna Baszler for the NXT Women's Championship. And this match was classic Shayna Baszler. Shayna wants to break you down. She wants to wear you down. She wants to destroy your limbs. She wants to maim you, kind of. So at one point, Shayna, Shayna and Candice are on the outside. Shayna slams Candice into the steel ring steps, and the ring steps have like holes for handles on the sides. And Shayna sticks Candice's left arm into one of those holes, so Candice's arm is kind of sticking out like this, and Shayna kicks Candice's leg. She kicks it like that into the ring step. It's very similar to how she does in the ring. How she'll have her opponent's arm like this. How she'll have their opponent's arm like this, and then she'll stomp on it from above. That's kind of what she did, but in this play, it wouldn't have been as impactful because of she wouldn't have the force of gravity and stuff like that. But her opponent's arm, Candice LeRae's arm, was in the middle, was in between a steel steps. So it's supposed to hurt more. So after this, Shayna focuses all of her might on that arm, kicking it, pounding on it, holds all the nines. Candice makes a little comeback where she hits 3 suicide dives. Three. Candice does this thing with her suicide dives. She like dives through the ring, through the ropes, but she dives upward. So like she's diving, and then all of a sudden she just like pops up. So she's like through the ropes, but then she'll just pop up. So it's like she pops up, so she doesn't like dive into them. She like pops up and then dives onto them. If you know what I mean. It's like a suicide dive turned into like a little tiny fun splash. Kind of like that. Candice then locks in rear naked choke, the Karafuda clutch. I think I said that right, which is Shayna's finishing maneuver. But then Shayna manages to escape out of that. Candice then ends up on a middle rope with Shayna and hits a middle rope swinging neck breaker, which is one of Candice's signature maneuvers. Shayna, the finish of the match was Candice going for a lion salt, which is her finisher. And Shayna reverses that into her Karafuda clutch. Candice tried to fight it, She tries to roll out of it, but Shayna just ends up rolling with her, with the clutch still cinched in. Candice has no choice but to tap. Now, this match was the one match that I thought for sure Candice had like a 75% chance to win. Because if you like, this is the night when you're going head to head with AEW. Finn Balor coming back is good for like that first 20 minutes when it happened. But after that, you need something else to give your show, your product some buzz over AEW. Because you can say it's not a war, but we know it's a war. And we know you're going to be paying attention to that war. We know it. We know you're going to be paying attention to what they do. So I thought for sure Candice winning was going to be something because for so long in NXT, Candice was nothing but Johnny's wife. Literally, she wasn't having matches. She wasn't doing anything. She was just Johnny's wife. And then she started her feud with Io. But Io was getting the upper hand of the feud. And then she wins the Fatal 4-Way last week. Candice wins the Fatal 4-Way on the, not last week, but on the NXT premiere. So you would think, if anything, she could win the women's championship tonight or last night, which would lead to maybe Io, her, Shayna at some point, where Io would eventually take it off of her, or Shayna could win it off of her, off of Candice, and then Io could win it off of Shayna, something like that. But that didn't happen. So this was another case where you had Finn return, so now you're thinking of who Shayna just won, and it was a clean, convincing win against Candice. For once, Shayna wins clean, right? So now you're starting to think, okay, let's look at the ramp area. Let's have our ears wide open. Let's see someone's gonna come out. Let's just see, because Finn is just if Finn can return, anybody's fair game at this point. We thought for sure Finn was gone. You know what I mean? He was on the main roster forever. So if Finn can return, anybody can return. So I personally was waiting. I personally was listening, waiting for Asuka, maybe Ember Moon. Well, I personally was listening to for one of them. Because if Asuka would have came out, boy, let me tell you, that women's division would have been. You give me Asuka versus Io Shirai, Asuka versus Shayna, Asuka versus Bianca Belair. Who else is in NXT? Their women's division is pretty thin. NXT's women's division is pretty thin, dog. Because Mia doesn't really put on great matches. To be completely honest, Mia doesn't have the best matches. Out of Bianca, even Shayna, Io, Candice, Mia, I would say puts on the most subpar matches. That match she had with Shayna at NXT Takeover, that was such a bad match. Well, maybe it wasn't because it was Mia. Maybe it was just the style and how they produced it and how they booked the match, whatever. They don't have that deep. They don't have that deep of a roster because they have other superstars. They have Rhea Ripley. I'm stupid. I forgot Rhea Ripley is there now, and Tony Storm is supposed to be there. So we could have had Asuka versus Tony Storm, Asuka versus Rhea Ripley. Come on now, you following me? Okay, man. I was waiting for Asuka's music to hit, just waiting. Following Candice versus Shayna, we get Pete Dunne versus Danny Burch. Just like Gargano versus Shane Thorne, this match starts off with a quick chain wrestling sequence where both men are vets in this game, they're technicians in this game, so they're able to reverse and get out of anything that the other man is doing. Dunn stomps on Birch's hand on the ring steps and focuses on that because that's Pete Dunne's, that's his specialty. Limb um what's I forgot the word. Dang it. Oh, um limb manipulation. See, I recovered in no time. That's Pete Dunne's specialty. Limb manipulation, okay? So he steps on Danny Burch's his left hand, I believe, on the steel ring steps. Later on in the match, Danny Burch hits his own sequence. He hits a headbutt, a powerbomb, a knee to the face, and a rope hung DDT, a top rope hung DDT. But P. Dunne kicks out of that. Dunne then goes on to hit the bitter end, his finisher, the bitter end, and he wins. So while Pete Dunne is in the middle of the ring celebrating, similar to Adam Cole, the lights go out. There's kind of a little light right there, a little spotlight, kind of, and up rises Damian Priest from behind Pete Dunne in the middle of the ring. And he takes out Pete Dunne and he hits Pete Dunne with his little crossroads finisher. So we're going to get Pete Dunne versus Damian Priest. Maybe just a match, at least just a match. Hopefully, a good, strong feud. And it's obvious Triple H has a whole bunch of faith and promise for Damian Priest, aka Punishment Martinez, because he's gonna put a punishment on Pete Dunne. I thought that was funny. Okay. After this, we had Adam Cole backstage having an interview with Kathy Kelly. She tries to point out that the cast on Cole's hand played a part in him winning. He used it to his advantage. He was talking about, nah, I didn't. I simply won because I am better than Matt Riddle. Then the other members of Undisputed Era, Roger Strong, Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish, they come into the picture. And Adam Cole's trying to tell them we got to stay focused. Says, screw Finn Balor. He's nothing. We need to stay focused. We need to stay focused for the tag team title match for Street Profits versus Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish. And then right after this, we had Street Profits versus Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish for Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish's NXT Tag Team Championships. Wale introduces, he comes out to the ring with Street Profits. It took that a long time. That could have been cut in half, and they would have been able to end the show when they were supposed to end the show. They went over time by maybe at the most 15 minutes, maybe. They went over time by 10 minutes for sure. Because I checked my time and it was like 10:09, and they were still wrestling, you know. So anyway, Wale comes out. They're singing "We Want Smoke." He has a fan singing "We Want Smoke." Street Profits, yada yada yada. They come out. Street Profits are in some nice looking maroonish gear. So if anything, they're the ones with the special interest. They have Wale, platinum recording artists, huge wrestling fan. They have the special entrance. So you think for sure they're gonna win this? Maybe. So at the beginning of this match, this was all about Street Profits being super aggressive against O'Reilly and Fish O'Reilly continue to go out of the ring to try to game plan with each other about what to do. This match was about Street Profits coming into this match with a bunch of pent up anger and resentment toward the way in which they lost the tag team titles because of interference. So they're just trying to get their hands on Fish and O'Reilly. Uh, Eventually, Fish and O'Reilly are able to slow down Street Profits and they're able to focus on Montez Ford. He's in the match the majority of the time for the Street Profits. They cut off the ring. They cut off the ring so Montez can't really get over to Angelo Dawkins. They're doing classic heel work, classic teamwork. At one point, Fish has Montez in a abdominal stretch, and the ref is on the other side, so the ref can't really see behind Fish. So as the ref has been down looking at Montez Ford, Fish pokes his hand out behind him, so O'Reilly can grab it and kind of leverage to give him more leverage, which was supposed to give Fish more torque on Montez, which is supposed to hurt Montez more than just a regular abdominal stretch. And he does that twice, and the referee catches Fish and O'Reilly doing illegal teamwork twice. Early on in this match, I forgot to mention Kyle O'Reilly does the running man while staring at Angelo Dawkins in the face. It was a slow running man, but it was a smooth running man. You know, Kyle O'Reilly is very smooth. Kyle O'Reilly is very, very smooth. Does the air guitar with a championship belt. He's a very smooth individual, and that running man was smooth, but it was slow, and it was kind of drawn out. He didn't have short leg motions; they were kind of drawn out. Once again, he's smooth though, so it kind of worked. I thought I had to put that in it because it was funny to me. Um, just like all of the other Street Profits tag team matches, basically, Angelo Dawkins, he gets the hot tag, but he ends up eventually getting dragon screwed through the ropes. Like he's in the corner and his leg is draped over while he is fighting with Kyle O'Reilly. The referee comes in to break him up and push O'Reilly off of him. The referee is distracted, and Bobby Fish on the outside dragon screws, dragon whips Dawkins' left leg while it's draped over the middle rope. So it's supposed to hurt even more than a regular dragon screw. Kyle O'Reilly takes advantage of this. He has Dawkins in the knee bar. Montez Ford comes in to try to break it up, but Bobby Fish gets in the way. Bobby Fish has Montez in a guillotine, and Montez ends up rolling into Kyle O'Reilly with Bobby Fish on him, and that breaks up the knee bar attempt. And prior to that part, while Kyle had Dawkins in the knee bar, Dawkins was making his way towards the rope, and Bobby Fish comes in, and he drags Kyle O'Reilly and Angelo Dawkins away from the rope that Dawkins was close to grabbing. That is then when Montez Ford came in, and that is when the guillotine rolled into Kyle O'Reilly breaking up the knee bar. That is when that happened. Ford hits a frog splash, but he didn't get the victory off of it. He almost did, but he didn't get the victory off of that one. He then hits a running dive over the turnbuckle onto Fish, Riley, and Dawkins a little bit. That's when Strong comes down to kind of distract things. Angelo Dawkins hits a spear onto Roger Strong on the apron. With the distraction, UE hit their sweet and low finisher to Montez Ford. 1, 2, 3, Undisputed Era. They defeat Street Profits. They retained the NXT Tag Team Championships. In the ring, Fish, Riley, Strong, they're celebrating, they're holding their titles up high. Adam Cole comes out, he stands on the ring, on the stage, he's holding his title up high, he's celebrating with them, saying, yeah, we did it, we knew we could do it. We told everybody the prophecy lives on, all that jazz. And that is when Ciampa's music hit. Tommaso Ciampa. That is when his music hits. His video, his Titantron plays. Ciampa comes out with a brand new shirt, which is a fantastic shirt, I might say. Comes out with a brand new shirt. Slowly walks around Adam Cole while looking at Goldie, which is the NXT Championship. That is what Tommaso Ciampa refers to the NXT Championship as. Slowly strolls around Adam Cole before then standing in front of him and looking him dead in the face and mean mugging only in which Tommaso Ciampa can mean mug. Tommaso Ciampa has the meanest mean mug in the entire business. You can quote me on that. So, with that being said, that was NXT. That was the entire NXT episode. It wasn't the greatest episode. It wasn't. I don't think it lived up to the hype in which they gave it, and in which people gave, and which people created more hype for it. Finn Balor returning was obviously a gigantic surprise. Ciampa returning wasn't that big of a surprise because we heard that he was recently cleared for non-contact stuff, and he was cleared to like to train and stuff like that. So his return was on the horizon. So him returning at any point soon was not a surprise. I just thought for sure 3 title matches. I thought for sure, I thought we were gonna have at least one title change. Maybe not Cole and Riddle, but Street Profits, UE, I thought for sure had a chance to change hands, and Shayna, LeRae, I thought for sure had a chance to change hands. None of the matches were, even with the Cole Riddle thing I talked about, nothing was like exceptional. Everything was just solid. There was nothing that I would say, oh, you have to go watch this again. Nothing like that. But it was a solid episode. I chose to watch that live from start to finish over AEW. So immediately after this, I was able to turn over to TNT and watch the entire replay of AEW. But for right now, that is all I have to say. That is all about NXT that I have to say. If you enjoyed what you heard, if you enjoyed what you saw, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you like, what you didn't like, what you want to hear, what you don't want to hear. Let me know if you are a blonde girl, black girl, or senorita. Let me know what you thought of NXT. Let me know if you thought if it was as good as we thought it was gonna be, or if it was disappointing in any way. Let me know what the best part of NXT was. Let me know what the best part of the entire night was. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, I will see you next time. Peace.